Now, the European Council has this week imposed restrictive measures targeting individuals believed to be involved in human rights violations in Russia as well as Iran. That's according to the Council. Then most of those are believed to be aiding the Russian and Iranian regime with serious human rights violations and abuses. Joining us is Dr. Nonkululeko Mantula, then the Co-Chairperson of the BRICS Journalists Association. Doctor, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it for joining us in studio as well on a Sunday. Pertinent matter here. Just want you to just lay the foreground for us, if you will. I think getting people to understand this is probably paramount first before we go into the deep allegations themselves.
So firstly, when it comes to BRICS, I'm sure everyone knows that BRICS has been expanding.
Yeah.
It's a global South countries coming together for self-determination, not alienation. There's never been an utterance from any BRICS heads, members of state, around alienating the West or being against the West.
Yeah, because that's the sentiment, right?
Yes.
That's what a lot of people believe that BRICS
Yes.
is said to do, not the least US President Donald Trump believing that that's the cause of BRICS, to try and alienate the rest of the world, but that's not the case.
Not at all. That has never been an agenda for BRICS.
Yeah.
And with sanctions such as this, sanctions imposed by the UN on the 15th of this month, so a couple of days ago, these sanctions are telling us that there is a paramount and an utter inclination from the West to silence the voice of BRICS, not only via the journalists, but also silence the voice of what the BRICS nations are standing for and the organization on its own. And these sanctions have been very hard-hitting. As one who's a media practitioner, a broadcaster, as one who has a media platform and travels around the continent and BRICS countries, these sanctions have showed us that the information that we feed to the media, whether it's via social media, bloggers, it's information that is not wanted. It is silenced, and there's a purpose for it.
So help me understand this just a little bit, and just to let you know, we are actually also watching the Gauteng Education MEC, Madame Chilone, who's still speaking as well, and so we are following that, and we might have to cross to that because it's about the online admissions process for grade 1s and grade 8, so we'll hopefully not have to, but I just wanted to let you know beforehand. But help me understand this properly. So these sanctions, are these against journalists? Are these actually against corporations themselves or people who have actually been doing these human rights violations, etc.? Let's just get the understanding here.
Firstly, there are no human rights violations that have been evident. There is no evidence in them. So these sanctions, the recent ones, are on 6 organizations and 9 individuals within the BRICS journalism fraternity. However, they add up to make 47 individuals and 15 in total organizations that are within media. And it's allegations that are unfounded. And this is where we need to make sure that our fact-checking mechanisms as media practitioners, as media houses, as journalists, are not prone by the West or not pushed by the West. And what we have seen is that these sanctions are unfounded. The major pushes against Russia, the major pushes against sovereignty for African states and those in the BRICS country. Now, we as the BRICS Journalists Association, we are not just for BRICS, we are for the Global South. And evident to that is the amount of journalists from non-BRICS member states who are registered as members of the BRICS Journalists Association. Even our co-chairpersons, we've got some from Bangladesh, which is not a member state. So we are all inclusive for the Global South. However, our voices have become so loud and our voices have become so true, looking at what's happening in the Sahel, in the middle of our continent, and we are reporting. But because we are reporting against countries that are France, who are in the UN, in the EU, excuse me, and countries like the USA, then we are seen as not doing the right thing. We are seen as hampering their progress because we are opening up the eyes of those who are resident in those countries.
Yeah. Absolutely fascinating.